What's up, guys? It's Eventon here. Now, I'm going to try and give you guys the abridged version of this because my last two takes took well over 20 minutes, and this is kind of more of like a podcasty thing. I'm going to show a couple things on screen, but this is more of just I guess you could call it my feedback, my impressions, my fixes, whatever you want to call it, for the Crimson Harvest event for 2021. And to reward you guys' efforts at the end of the video, if you guys comment based on kind of what I ask of you guys, I'll be giving away 2 of the Gila skins. I know some people call it Gila. I don't care. But where I live, there's actually Gila monsters, like little reptilian creatures. I don't care how you guys call it, as long as you don't say Gila. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. I would say some of the good, bad, and the fixes I would make. We'll go ahead and start with the good. And I would say I like the option of choosing sides. They did this with the Minotaur event. I do kind of like that you get the kind of like unique skins and a way to kind of pick your skins as well, which is nice. But in this case, you really didn't get to see it beforehand. That's kind of a small sneak peek into the bad. A lot of the skins look awesome. By far and away, I like the login rewards and a lot of the death glow skins in general are just some of my favorite skins in the game, hands down. A lot of these Crimson Harvest or like the Halloween skins look amazing. So keep that stuff up. I think it's awesome. 90% PvP. That is amazing. That should honestly never go away for this Halloween event. I've not done any of the low six sites or the null six sites out in the derelict or the delve region, but it sounds like you can get escalations off the combat sites. I think that's really cool. I haven't seen anyone do it or kind of talk about it, but if you have, let me know down in the comments below. But I think CCP can kind of continue that there's events or things going on beyond the event itself, so that's cool. I think the payouts were okay. The high sec ones, not so great, but the low sec derelict, which I spent a lot of time on with my alt scanning and doing the exploration stuff, was amazing. So keep that up. Of course, the cerebral accelerators are amazing. That's all the typical event side stuff. I did like how the exploration like loot did give keys for the combat sites. I think it would have been cool if the combat sites also gave like a booster or something like that to help with the exploration sites, so they kind of like feed into each other and create like a little mini market where the explorers are helping the combat guys, and the combat guys can help the explorers, especially when this side like the hacking. So maybe there's a booster to help increase your hacking bonuses or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. So cool. All that out of the way. Now on over to the bad. Big deep breath. First thing, this is a very minor thing. I'm going to show it here on screen. That's not the right one. Here it is. I'm not sure why with a lot of these events, like CCP will put up these like skin deals or bundles that look really cool. I actually wanted to buy probably one of the Death Glow ones, but it was only like 4 or 5 days. Like, I don't know what's up with CCP and putting up these like skin offers or certain like packages and stuff where like they're up for like less than 100 hours. So if you're not online that weekend or if you're out of town or whatever it is, you just completely miss out on it for the most part. If you don't even realize the deal's going on, it pretty much just immediately passes you by. The next one is, gosh, I hate saying this because it sounds kind of cringy and I've seen it on Reddit and other places, but the whole CC please thing, like CCP, but CC please. Please let people at least just like see the skins that they're going to get before they accept the side. I'm actually going to open up this screen here. That is not the right one. That was the one I opened up earlier. This one. So this is what you initially see when you first open up the kind of like event tab or whatever. It says choose Blade Raiders or Tetramon. Gives you a little bit of information on both sides, but it shows you nothing at all whatsoever about the actual skins you're getting. So a lot of people were complaining that the Tetramon skins looked basically almost exactly like the default Amarian skins for a lot of the ships, as you guys can see here. So these are the 2 sets of Tetramon skins. These are the Ashkurder. Gosh, I forgot the name. I don't even have it pulled up, but like these skins look, you honestly could not tell the difference between these and like the default Amarian skins. The Augur Navy, I know, has like a black trim and it looks slightly different, but it's hardly noticeable. I do really like these, the Sarum skins. I forgot how they're pronounced, S-A-R-U-M. I do like the red and gold a lot. I do like it infinitely more than the whole ketchup and mustard look that the Minotaur ships had, so I do like the gold and red a lot. Kind of remind me of the crown and sword skins, so they look pretty similar, but not exactly, but I think these skins look great. Not amazing, but they do look great. These ones look amazing. The Blood Raider skins, not only did like the Blood Raider skins themselves are like pretty rare. These are all pretty, I think, commonly used ships, maybe with the exception of the Mauler. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people using the Mauler Punisher as well, but like the Purifier, and I'm not sure if this is the Omen or the Omen Navy, are both pretty popular bombers and cruisers for like the respective class of ships. And not only are like the Blood Raider skins themselves are popular, people like the look, but also the Blood Raider ships themselves are also getting new skins. The Curer, the Ashimu, the Balgorn, the Dragoon, as well as the Crucifier. I think these skins don't look as good as the other ones, but just notoriously the Blood Raider skins have hardly any skins for those ships as well. Like they're actually pretty rare to get. I believe like the Ashimu, the Cure, and like the Balgorn on before this event only had like 4 skins that you could choose from. So I think just giving more options for those ship hulls are amazing. So I think, as you can probably tell, there's kind of a clear winner. The people that didn't pick the Blood Raiders felt kind of cheated, especially since these skins, in my opinion, just look better kind of across the board, like on average. But that's just my personal opinion. So I think that would just kind of getting away. Just show the skins before you do it. Anyway, moving on. Next one is there seems to be a little bit of inconsistency between the Blood Raider sites as well as like the Tetramon sites, like the payouts. Like one side gets the bounty payouts, but the Tetramons get the clone blanks. And I guess that kind of evens out, but it's also kind of RNG, like whether you get X amount of clone blanks and stuff. And it does seem like the Tetramon sites are a bit harder, so I'm not sure if they're trying to like punish players that like the Blood Raiders more. Who knows for the most part, so I'm not exactly sure about that. I just kind of made a note on it. I'm honestly not sure where I was going around with it. Next one. This is kind of a big one. This event is 900 points. I think this is the highest I've ever seen it. I should have looked it up. I did look up the Winter Nexus event of last year. That was 650 points. I'm not entirely sure how many points the Minmatar event was. I could have sworn that might have been like less too, and that event was like over 2 weeks. This event is less than 2 weeks long. I think it was 12 days, something like that, and it's still going on right now. And I think on average, the event sites and like the payouts and stuff, like it would take you like 40 something sites or so in order to actually get to this Balgorn skin. Like if you did nothing but the combat sites and no one ever contested you got every single payout perfectly or hit all the points perfectly. That's a long time, and that's a lot of sites to do, and especially since you're fighting these big, burly, slow-aligning battleships. That's probably what these sites are typically made for, by just the picture right here. It takes you a long time. You're jumping dozens and dozens of systems trying to find these sites, and on top of that, like this event is like 2 weeks long, less than 2 weeks long, but the Winter Nexus event was nearly a month long. And on top of that, not only are you jumping dozens of sites or systems to find these sites, when you pick a side, the sites that you actually get credit for are divided by half. So if I pick the Blood Raiders like I did here, I can do Blood Raider sites, but I'm not getting credit for the points. So already, like, the amount of sites I can do are divided by half. So if I go to a system and all I see are Blood Raider sites, all right, I'm gonna just keep warping. I'm gonna keep moving on. I mean, what I did initially was just run all the sites, but I'm like, wow, it feels like I've ran 25 of these sites between my alt and my main, and I'm barely here. Not even that. Like I've run like 25, 30 sites, and I'm like barely here at this point. And yeah, like this just takes a long time. And so, like I said, with the slow ships on top of that, it does feel like it just takes forever, and it's a huge slog. I was dual boxing these sites. So initially I was just using my Praxis. It was taking forever, even when I did take the keys. Actually taking the key does actually speed up the site quite a bit. Just completely skipping that annoying second room to save a lot of time. But let's just say you don't have a bunch of keys, or you don't have a bunch of ISK to spend on the keys on contract. I was even dual boxing with like Praxises. Like one was a laser boat, the other one was like a rapid light or a rapid heavy boat. And because we can't use drones, and Praxis actually get a good amount of damage from their drones, these sites like took us in between like 15 to 20 minutes. And a lot of the high sec sites probably pay out like 10 to 20 million. It really depends whether you get really lucky with like the war clone blanks and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely sure on that. Like it does seem like the high sec sites don't pay out very well. I did all of my exploring on my alt and like the low sec derelict, and I got huge payouts. I really like the payouts there. Of course, like the amount of money is skewed just because the cold iron skins and stuff like that are priced extremely high. I don't think they've updated them on the market just yet, but on average, I was probably getting anywhere between 20 to like 80 mil and just like random overseer effects, and as well as the war clone blanks as well, not including the skins. Their super accelerators also sell really well, and all that. So I just felt like the low sec derelict exploration sites were really good. Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at my notes here. So still no group content. Like the fact that you can't get points, like this guy here, like when I was dual boxing, my alt can do the Tetramon sites or the Blood Raider sites, and my main can do the Tetramon sites. So I was kind of like alternating off. And not only the sites took forever, but like battleships and battle cruisers already struggled handling frigates, and sometimes these sites would spawn anywhere between like 4 to 5 frigates, and sometimes 3 frigates and stuff, and that just gets really annoying because these sites also, there's way too much drone aggro in these sites. It seems like it's just straight up punishing ships that like to use drones, like, you know, the Prophecy, the Dominics, like any ships like that like, oh, good portion of their damage comes from drones, like they just immediately get punished. So unless you're basically flying a rattlesnake with faction heavies or like a gecko, like your drones are just getting downed immediately. I still remember a couple times where my drones were kind of going far away, or like I didn't recall my drones before the new wave spawned. And when the new wave spawned, one of them had like 2 oracles or something like that, and they were just volleying my light drones off the field from like 40 kilometers away with heavy pulse lasers, just volleying my light drones off from that far away. It's like they must have insanely good tracking, because when they focus your drones for whatever reason or another, the NPCs have like perfect tracking and just start killing your drones. So immediately all the drone boats are just off the table when it comes to these sites, because the drone juggling is just honestly too much, in my opinion. So I kind of wish they would rebalance that for the most part. And again, when it comes to the whole point system, they really need to rework this, because, you know, after I kill these 10 Tetramon ships, I get a quest for the battleship, and that is a very easy way to basically get soft locked out of the like getting points for the rest of the like event, because there's been times where actually like my alt will actually steal the battleship from my main because my main was like reloading or didn't do enough damage to the battleship, and I wouldn't get credit for it. At that point, no one gets credit for it because my alt has points for the other faction, and I probably what I should have done is probably put them both for the Blood Raider faction, but I was just kind of figuring out what skins both sides had, just to kind of figure it out. But yeah, it's like at that point, it's like I still had that one battleship quest, or that point track going on here, and in order for me to complete that, now I need to run a whole nother site, probably jump 3 to 4 jumps to find another site. 50-50 chance that the site is actually for the faction that I want to do. So as you can see, this is just adding a lot of time of just traveling, approaching gates, taking the warp, all that stuff, because you are getting like web scram disrupted, all that stuff. So it's just adding more and more time. And like it just seems like a lot of the stuff is just to like synthetically increase like gameplay time, because like I don't think I've ever seen an event with that is the Hypernet Relay, which I've been making a lot of ISCON. If you guys have not checked out that series, you should. It just seems like all this stuff is just like artificially increased gameplay time. You know, they focus your drones, you have to recall them, you can only use certain ships, everything is slow, 50% of the sites aren't for you, and all that stuff. So yeah, so enough about the bad. Let's go ahead and jump into like the fixes and changes that I would do. I would say first off, it's kind of like a 2-for-1. I would say I would make 3 changes to this. This first one's like I said, a 2-for-1. I would say make sure you at least show the skins you're going to get before you accept the whole which side you're going to do. I wish it would show you at least the list of the skins, or at least like the name of the skin, so you can look it up here in the top left with that little magnifying glass, like the type of skins you're going to be getting, because there's no way you could tell before you actually did them. Also, auto redeem rewards, that's a small thing. It would be nice to do it, because like let's say I finished this Tetramon ships like destroyed thing and I didn't click it, and I killed the battleship, and I didn't realize I didn't click this before to like get the quest for the battleship. And again, I have to run the site all over again to get to the battleship in order just to complete that quest. So yeah, and I think that brings me to my next point, is like they basically just need to rework this point system. First off, like 900 points for less than 2 weeks in big burly battleships, and you only get credit for 50% of the sites. That is just way too long and way too much grinding. They need to add a third column here, or a third point tracker here, just for the ships. So it just refreshes those 15 ships over and over and over and over again. And then I think it's 10 or 15. I forgot the amount. Yeah, it's 10 right here. And then have this track up here just be the battleship over and over and over again. So that way you can even get credit if you go into someone else's site and steal it. You know, let's say you just you go into a site, all the rooms are pretty much done, but you get there just in time for the battleship. You kill the battleship, you get credit for it. Cool. Like I don't know why they don't have a 3-track thing here in order to just get the ships and get the sites and the battleships. It's going to exponentially make it go faster. On top of that, I do think you'll notice that if you actually do the events, the very, very first time you do the combat or the exploration site, you'll get like 20 points, but every single time after that is only 10 points. So I think like at the beginning of each day, or like each new day, should just give you 20 points for the first site. So it's kind of like a login reward. It's a little bit like the killing spree, where it's like, hey, the first time you do this, you get a bonus or an extra or whatever. I think that way, if someone only has enough time to like run one site a day or do one exploration thing a day, it'll get their track up to, 50% or 60% or something like that. It's going to get them most of the way, but it's not going to get them to finish. So they might have to, every third day they have to run an extra site or two to be able to complete the event. But the way it's set up now, I think you have to run like, I think it's like 40, maybe not 40 sites. Yeah, I think it's about like 40 sites in order to get to the 40 combat sites in order to get to the Balgorn like Ironblood skin or the Apocalypse skin for the Tetramon side. So it just seems like that is such a huge grind and slog. And again, 50% of the sites, sometimes you get sites stolen or you have your alt out damage the character that actually needs the credit. Like all these things just work against you variable wise. Rebalance the combat sites. I think the difficulty is fine. The nuding is great, like all that stuff. But there is a huge difference between like difficulty and punishing. It does feel like that, like the ships that like to use drones or just anything that uses drones just gets immediately punished. So I don't know if they could rework it to where they only focus the drones, like the ship that is getting attacked by the drones will eventually focus the drones, and maybe there's like a buddy system where like if one of these two ships get attacked by drones, the other one will help as well. But like there's times where I deploy drones and like pretty much half the room will immediately focus those ships. And again, because like the cruisers and the battle cruisers, like even the Oracle has like perfect tracking and they're just volleying off my light drones. So I really think they need to fix that as well. And maybe have the NPC spawns skew a little bit more towards like the like cruisers and battle cruisers rather than like frigates and destroyers, because again, we're flying mostly battle cruisers and battleships. Things that we can apply to easier is going to help us get through the sites faster, because every time I was actually bottlenecked into going into the next site, it was mostly because there's just like 5 frigates and I have to slowly kill them away and recall my light drones over and over and over again. Next one is this one's a bit more theoretical. This is this isn't even like an actual suggestion, but it's like I think for events like this, especially since like the better paying sites were out in the middle of nowhere Delve and Low Sec Derelict, which are very far away from like where most people live. I don't know why there's not filaments to take you there. I think it would make sense that the Blood Raiders as well as the Tetramon like NPCs or like just kind of the faction or corporation, whatever they're called, would just give you kind of these filaments like, hey, by the way, we kind of changed the filament technology to help you get on the front lines as fast as possible to help, fight the other guys. Here's some filaments. So whether they make it a very limited thing, like maybe they have a very small chance to drop in the sites, or maybe it's a login reward and everyone only gets one. So that way Derelict as well as Delve doesn't just get flooded with people constantly, just, fleets of 15 battleships flying through there. Who knows? I'm not sure how that would work. Maybe this isn't even the event to do it, but I do think kind of having more ways for people to jump into the action and run these event sites quicker is much better than having them aimlessly roam around high sec, low sec, null sec, trying to find these sites and getting nowhere. And when they do find a site, there's a 50% chance they won't even get credit for it. So yeah, wow, I'm at almost 18 minutes, so I did keep it under 20. Still a bit of ranting, but that's fine. So again, I'm giving away 2 Gila skins, so if you guys are interested, down in the comments below, let me know what you guys think about the event. I mean, have you guys been getting good payouts? Are you guys even considering completing the event, considering how grindy it is? Is there any things you guys do like, don't like? Whatever it may be, what do you guys think about some of these suggestions about just adding more ways to get points, rebalancing the event sites so that people can actually use drones in the sites as well, maybe add filaments, be able to see the skins beforehand? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys there. So hope you guys take care and you fly safe.